correct?
I can't see it yet.
Oh, there's probably a lag in the network, either on your end or mine.
See it now.
So
I can see it now.
you can see it now, right? Okay. So because yesterday we started that new, we created that new file in Revit 2024, and we were doing it for the first time. So now that I'm opening Revit all over again, you can see that I can either open it from here when I go to, actually not new, I can either open it here on the open tab, but then it means I'd have to locate it and find where it is. For me, I'm saving everything on the desktop in that architects. So here there's that Revit file. So what you do is you can either open, but you'd have to check the most recent one according to the time. So this one doesn't show. Oh, so here it shows that the date modified. So ideally, you're better off opening the second file because it was saved at 10:17 p.m. and then the first one was saved at 10:12. So you can either click it and then say open like that, or, or you could open it from that other side on the right. Let me see if I can try to open it using the other method. So what I can do is I can go to, or it means I'll have to open. For example, if I exit it, I double click the Revit software there. So yeah, previously I opened it using this option. Alternatively, I can see it here, so I can just click on this and then it will open. And then now I've got the properties and the project browser like this. I can either take it on the right like we did last time, or I can work like this. It's not different. Because my screen is moderately big, I'll move it like this so that I can have a lot of options like that. And then in my 3D, I can see that everything was saved, the reinforcement, the walls, and the strip footing. And then what I can do is I can try to select either one of these elements like that, and then I can change back. Before we deleted, I bumped up the transparency to 70. So just to go back, I can give it a 0 transparency, and then everything will be visible once again. So now what I can do is I can go to my plan view so that we can finish putting up the walls. When I go to my structural here at L1, when I click on it, there is that information from yesterday. And then to remember, let's see, where's my wall? So this is my wall. And here it says foundation walls. So what I can do is I can right click and say create similar, and then I can start now from the column edge there to the column edge here. I'll cancel, and then I'll click on the column there up until the column here. I'll say cancel, then I'll move from there to there, say cancel, but I'm still in the commands. Where's my edge? I think it's here. Actually, I'm not seeing my column here. I think it should be here. I click there, then click there, and so here also we need a wall. Click there to there, like that. Yeah. also from here, from here to there, click cancel. Where else? Here, from this edge to this edge right here, click cancel. Then I'll go up. Before I go down, I'll go up, then click there. Let's see, like that. And then I'll also click, or here there's also a wall. I just click there and have it meet the existing one there. Cancel. Someone is trying to join. Oh, okay. And gone up. Let me continue going up. I'll click there, up until there. Cancel. Still in the command, I'll click there, up to there. Okay. Both of these are supposed to join. Click there and there, like that. Where else? Here and there. Do the same on the other side, like that. I'll try to see. Oh, did we create the ones in the middle here? Let me just confirm. No, no walls there, so I'll say create similar from there to here. Confirm if I've got a wall here. No wall. I'll use this same one, create similar from that edge to there, and then okay, we can join one here from there to there. Cancel. Yeah, there's no wall here. And how I know that there's no wall is because when I hover over this, it tells me there's a foundation wall. When I hover over this, there's only an axis. So I'll select it, right click and say create similar, and then I'll create a foundation wall. Make sure that it meets the column like that, and then how about here? No, there's no wall. Select this wall, create similar from there to here, like that. Where else? From here to here, like that. Is there a wall here? No, no wall. Create similar from there to the edge there, like that. I think now I can go down. Yeah. Create similar from the edge of the column there to this other point here. And then from, wow, that one is off center. I wonder how that happened. Okay. But I will not maintain the off center. I have to change it. I'll click it there. So I'm changing it now to there. This one is actually off center also. Okay, from there to there, like that. From here to there, that, and then from here to there, no? From here to there, you just change to find view, try to admit puzzle. Okay, so we're creating walls, guys. Thanks for joining. We're creating foundation walls so that they can come from the bottom to the ground floor slab. Okay, we have a wall here. What is this? Yeah, that's a foundation. I think we've done all of them at this particular point. So what I can do is go into my 3D view using this option here with the little house. When you hover over it, it says default 3D. When you drop down, it gives you these other options for 3D, like camera. You can create a camera view, you can create a walkthrough, or you can simply just change to 3D. So when you click on it like that, it should be able to show you all the other foundation walls that we've created, and then you can see that they are stepped down slightly. So what we can do at this particular point is, because now I'm currently unable to see most of these were because of the 3D of the DWG that we pinned yesterday. So what I can do is I can go back to my plan view, and I really do not think it's necessary for me to have it anymore. So you see, I'll try to click any elements of the DWG that we imported yesterday, and then as I approach either one of the elements, it gives me its extent, so the boundaries there. So when I click either one of these, it selects and it shows all the elements that are pertaining to this DWG that we imported. And then when I press on my delete, it means I've deleted it, right? So now I'm able to see things clearly now. And for sure here, I will probably need like a tie, just to tie the foundation walls. I'll add another. I probably missed it. Constant of axis and coordinate traces, that's okay. Okay, yeah, so now I was actually able to see properly, and then I can create another one here just to tie them from that point to the other point there. Okay, so having done this, I can either now decide to, yes, so having done this, I can either now decide to add my strip foundation in plan view, or I can add it in my 3D. Let's see what happens. I'll do both. So what I'll do is I'll start with my 3D first, and then for the rest that I won't be able to see, I'll add them in my plan view. So what happens is that I'll go to my existing strip footing. If I didn't have one existing, I would have to create one like we were doing yesterday, or I'd have to go to my let's see, yeah. So I'd have to go to my structure tab here, and then I'd have to go to a foundation and select this wall foundation. And then just make sure that you're using a 600, because there are these other ones. Like yesterday we edited one of the 900s by 300s, so make sure you're using the one that you created, and then you can try to select these walls like that, and they'll be adding the footing or the strip foundation like that. And then you can do this in 3D, or you can do it in 2D like that. Select it, it adds the little footing, and then when you go into your 2D, you see that whether you're missing certain walls or not. Like that, like that. that. So usually these are like maybe just is that 4 courses, 3 courses? Let's see, 1,200 divided by 200. 1,200 divided by 200, 6. So it's like 6 courses from the natural ground going down. That, okay, there, 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 there. There's already one here, and there, and there. I think I've exhausted all of them at this particular point, but I can confirm when I go to my plan view. Yeah, actually, yeah, actually, oh, there's one missing over there, so I can click on it like that. Even this one, we've got one there. Okay, are there any other points? This one is missing also. Just add it like that. Oh, I think we're done now. Oh, this one doesn't look too good. You can modify it by probably giving it an extent. Let's say. Oh, this is it. Oh, okay, I understand. Is this a column? Yeah, this column doesn't have a footing. Let me select it, go into my 3D, try to look for it. Yeah, this column doesn't have a footing. So what we can do is we can select this footing, create similar, and then go to plan 2D, then just add it over there. And it says they're similar, we can combine them. And the touch structure will be moved to the bottom. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens now. Seems as if there are two now. I do not remember having to combine them, but nonetheless, this is what you have. And then it looks like that. Okay. So after having created the foundation uh, elements, the footing and the foundation was, what we can do. Okay, so even when you view it from the bottom, it looks like that. It's very clean. Let's see. Go to my. Okay, maybe we can introduce one here. Let's try to add a wall from here to here. Okay, and as you can see, it's already created a footing. You go to the 3D view at the bottom, there it is. And now everything is tying into the other, except maybe for this one here, which I think we can ignore. Let's see how it looks. Should we? No, this is good. Okay, after having done that, what I can do is now I can go to my elevation. I think we are creating those elevation marks in south elevation. So when I click on the south elevation, also here I can see that the bases are here. There's another base, the foundation walls, and the columns. So now what I can do is I can double check on my Prota file just to confirm what kind of foundation I'm using on the ground floor. I remember it's 120, but let me just do a cross reference just to be sure. And also, I created this foundation, a strip foundation here in AutoCAD, just to match what we have here in Revit. You see, although it shows that at B1 and B15, let's see, B15 shows that there's a B15 shows that they are connecting here. B1. Yeah, B15, B1 and B15. Okay, B15. Yeah, so it shows we're actually supposed to, but then we cannot because the column is at C. Just confirm. Column is at C. Oh, it backs into the. I don't think this one is necessary. I'll delete it. Okay, so now this matches. Here we have one here and one here. Let me just control S it. Um, yeah, so we have one here and we have one here, plus this outer one and there, and then it matches this outer one and there. Okay, so now I can confirm on my ground floor I'm using 120 millimeter thick a slab on grade, and then we'll just reinforce it with a 257 conforce. So what I can do, I can go to my, first I'll go to my south elevation, and then I can click my NGL, my natural ground, like that. Sorry, don't click the letters, click the bubble, like that, like that, and then it takes you into this ground floor plan view. Alternatively, what you can do is right here on the structural plan, you can go to NGL, although this one doesn't show NGL. Anyway, so you can see that the bubbles here on the other side, we do not have any bubbles. So I can just click on my elbow there, make sure that it's clean. Also this other one there, just click on the elbow, make sure that it's clean. And then on the other side, what I can do is I can I can click on all of these elevations like that. Sorry, on these grid lines. Click on the grid line, exposes this little square thing, and then when you check it, it shows you the grid identification, either number or letter. Like that, you click it, exposes that, you click on it, it shows. You click it, you click on that other small thing, click it, you click on that other small, and so on and so forth. Until these are kiss and I do not want them to kiss. Okay? Like that. So I'm good here. How about the top here? Do the same. Someone supposed to join. Admit. Yeah, so I'll click and click and click and click and click and click and click, and you can see that now I have all this information. If I want to, I can dimension from this elevation of this plan view, just find my elevation to here at the top, or I can go to annotate and then say linear dimensions, and then how is it I cannot, okay, go there, click this, click this, click this, I'll create a chain, you see, like that, like that, and like that. And then what I can do is give it an overall dimension, like that, and it tells me it's 1600. I can do the same in this direction, like that, and like that. Uh-oh, go back, click that, B, B1, then C, then D, then E, then F, G, then H, and then put it over there. We do not want this, will break it, like that. And then I can imagine it's the same on the other side. I'll break it and just do that, like that. Okay, remember you need an overall dimension also from here, from H to A. This helps in setting out. Okay, I'll put it right here, and then I can do the same here, create a chain of dimensions, then I'll click it there. The other one I'll click it here, and then do the same on the right side. Okay, like that, and that, that, that. Make sure that you do not miss any grid line, otherwise you'll be creating the wrong information for the guys that are going to be digging for these foundations. Like that, click that, make sure you don't click that, and then you just put it out. So you do not have to repeat this process on every view. What you can do is you can select one. So now you press escape as many times as you can. Also press Ctrl S just to save your file. So what you can do is select one of these dimensions. Could be this one, could be this one, doesn't really matter. When you select it, right click and say select all instances in visible view, like that. So now all of them will be selected, and then I can paste them on the other plan views. How you do that is you go to this area that says clipboard, you press on the copy, and then you can see that now that we have information on the clipboard, the paste command is now activated. Previously it wasn't activated. So what you can do now is you can say paste aligned to selected views. So now it's up to you to select the aligned selected views. Remember, we've got the NGL, so try to look for it. You can go to the structure SOG stubborn grade, like that, and then you can also select FFL, will be useful, RBL, RSL, TOF. Oh, we're in the TOF right now, so you cannot. Well, you can select the TOF anyway, and then try to look for NGL also. You cannot find it. Okay, when you say okay, when you go to your this abbreviation, oh, this is the architecture. Let's go to SOG for the slab on grid right here, and you see that those dimensions were duplicated. As you can see, these bubbles still remain unchecked in this view, so I'll just go around and click them also, just to make sure that everything is consistent, like that, like that, like that, like that. Okay, here we break this little thing. They're kissing and we do not want them to kiss. And then this is my H, I'll click it, my G, my F, my E, sorry, this is D, my C, I'm pretty sure this is my B1, like that. I'll select the seat, click on the elbow, break it, and then this should be my B, and finally this is my A. Do the same on the other C, like that. Oh, just bring it down a little, and then you're good. So now what you can do now is you can create the foundation slab. Okay, so how you create the foundation slab in Revit is different from Prota. For it, you just go to the structure tab, you click on it, and then it's got this slab option. So when you press it, it already gives you like a foundation slab there, and it's saying it's 150. But remember, we do not want the 150. We designed, according to Prota, we designed our foundation slab with 120 thick RCC reinforced concrete. So what we'll do, we'll go back to Revit, and then we'll click on Edit Type. Everything else is we can duplicate, and then we can say we're using a 120 millimeter thick foundation slab, and then we'll delete the two. And then we've just changed the name. Remember, if we say edit, we can edit this to say 120, the thickness in the thickness column there. We'll say 120 and we'll OK. And then we'll apply. If you like, you can preview what you've done. This is the section view. You can try to create the, you can, oh, it's just showing the section view. Okay, you apply and you're OK. So now you can see here on create modify floor boundary, it asks you what kind of a floor. So what you can do is you can select the lines. And for me, the lines that I'll select will be the edges of the column. So you can either pick walls if you like your foundation to be along these walls, or you can pick supports. For me, I'll pick lines, and the lines that I'll pick, because I want the column sides, the edges of the columns to be the extents of my slab. I do not, these are footing. The footing will not appear on the foundation slab. So I'll click this edge and this edge, and then I can also click this edge like that, and then I can click this edge, and finally I can click this edge. So now what I've done is I've really shortened the process, because now I can trim and extend. If you've used trim and extend before in AutoCAD, it works in the same way. So select trim and extend, and what this means is that I want this line to join this one, you see, and then I want this line to join with this one, this line to join with this one. But that's too much. Oh, okay. So I'll press escape to move out of the command. It doesn't change this information. What I needed to do was pick a line and put it here. And now I can go to trim and extend, and I can join this one with this one. Oh, okay, these are different. So let me just delete this one. Yeah. So I'll click the line again, and I'll click this side, and then with this side like that. And now I can use the trim and extend command. So now what this means is that this one can join this one, and this one can join this one, and then this one can join this one, and this one can merge with this one right here. So now everything is good. What I can do is click OK, and then I can view what I've just done in my 3D. You see, like that. So now I can see that there's a little space between my slab and my foundation walls, and I do not want that space. So if you're unable to see this properly, you can change the visual representation. You can change to either shaded, like that's to black, or you can say maybe consistent colors, or you can say textures. Okay, so this is better, right? It shows us a better representation of what's happening. So when you click on it, you can see that it has the foundation walls have got a base offset of -1, and they've got a top offset of 0. So what you can do is you can attach. An easier option you can do is you can attach to the walls, or you can give these walls an offset if you know the space, if you know what that space is. So how you can, okay, I'll show you both. If you click the wall there, it's got this attach top base. So when you select this and you click what you'd like it to attach to, it attaches to the bottom there. You see? So this side is closed, but then for these other walls, you can see the little space there, right? That one over there. You can either use that option for all of these, or you can go to a section view or an elevation view, for example, like the south elevation, and then we can see that there's a space there, and we can measure out this space using this measure tool, the dimension tool. You can say from there to there, there's an 80 millimeter space. So keeping that in mind, I can go to my 3D view, and then let me select one of these walls. So I can select it, and then I'll give it a top offset of 80, like that. So when I apply it, you can see that now it meets. So I'm pretty sure this one also gave it an 80 offset. Oh, someone is requesting to join. Okay. So when I click on this wall, essentially we've done the same thing, except for it gives it or just attaches it to the bottom. So what you can do, you can use either one of those options. All of them are okay. So now remember, you've just done this for like 2 walls, but you need to do to a number, to multiple walls. So what you can do is you right click and you say you select instances in entire project, and now all the walls have been selected. You see, all of them have been selected. So now either using option number 1 or not option number 2, that's entirely up to you. If you like to give them, and we know they need an 80 millimeter top offset to meet the bottom of the slab, or we can use the attach. So for me, I'll use the attach, and then I'll select the slab like that, and those spaces would have disappeared. Same thing would happen if you gave them a top offset of 8. Same concept. So now if I go into my south elevation, I do not have to worry. I know. Let me change to fine, and also change the textures. I know that there's no space in the middle now. Okay. So having done that, now we have the foundation walls, everything is in check. I can check my plan view. I can see that the strip footing is there. And when I click on my SOG there, it shows me, it also shows me the direction. It's showing me it's a one-way slab, but in fact it's actually a two-way, right? I don't know why it's saying one, but it's actually two. Okay, so now we've created the foundation slab. We've created the strip footing. Now what we can do is we can create the first floor slab. So now the first floor slab, you can go to the structure here, and you click on you can say FFL. When you go to FFL, you see that it's not as clean. Also, we need the dimensions. So what I can do is I can go to my SOG, or I can go to my L1, whichever you like. You see, this one is well detailed, and it's got all the information. So does this one. So
Mr. Shura, I can't see the screen.
oh, who says you cannot see the screen? Can you guys see the screen? Ian and Skazi. Okay, no response. I'll stop it, and then I'll start again. I'll start sharing. Share entire screen. Hopefully now you can see it, Paul. Can you see it? Just confirm if you can see it.
I still can't see it.
Even now. Even now.
Yes, I can't see it. Maybe it's just on my end.
Maybe it's your network. Maybe it's your network, because I'm sure. Oh, it's saying there's an issue with content sharing. Something went wrong. Try again later. Let me try again. Task share. Is it still persistent? How about now?
Okay, yes, now I can see. I can see the screen now.
Okay, cool. So from where we left it off yesterday, we didn't finish all the walls and we didn't finish the foundation wall, the strip footing, like the foundation for the walls. The Yeah. So what I've done now, I've completed it. For example, when I go to this view, you remember the ribbon that we added to one of the bases. So what I've done now is I've finished it. I've added the walls, the foundation walls, like the ties. You know, if as you can see, the walls are tying into each other. And also I've added the strip footing to all of them. So that was the first thing that we did when Nisa was actually present. And then after that, we added a slab on grade, this foundation slab. But as we added it, what happened was that the slab, there was a space between the foundation walls and the slab. However, I showed how you can close it up. You can either use the attach detach option, or you can use the offset option. So it's entirely up to you. So as you can see, we've created those the Zambians call it the box, right? So if I can hide this thing, for example, when I go to hide view, when I say hide element, it hides the slab. And now from here you can see that realistic what's happening is that we've excavated into the earth and we've put up this 600 by 200 thick strip footing, and then on top of it we've built these walls, and these will be helping transmit the loading of the walls on top, right? So let me just go to my review, and then I'll untoggle this thing, and then I'll say unhide, and then I'll press that thing again, and now my slab is back on. You see? So now my slab is back on. Cool. Now what I can do is I can add my first floor level or my first floor slab, and then later on we can come and add maybe the ring beam. So here I would like to maintain, like I would like for these bubbles to show. So I'll just click on them like that, click on that, sorry, make sure it's okay. Let me just break that also, it doesn't look good. Click on that, click on that, click on that, break it. I know they were going to kiss, they're kissing a little. Let me just drag it down a little like that. Click on that, click on that. Do the same for the top ones, like that, like that, like that, and then like that. Click it, select it, click it, select it, click it, select it. Okay, so now I can see that now I do not have dimensions on my first floor. So I can either use this option and dimension all of them, but I already did that previously. As you can see on my slab on grade, I've got the dimensions. Also on my foundation there, I've got dimensions. So I can copy these and paste them that side. So what you do is you select, you can either choose to select them one at a time like that, which will be tedious for you because you also need to hold down the control, or to work smart you can select one of them, right click, and then you say select all instances, not in entire project, no, just select in invisible view. When you select an entire project, it goes to the other floor plans also, but you do not want that. I just want the ones that are visible here. So when I select like that, and you can see all of them change to the color blue. So what I can do now is I can copy here on the clipboard. There's a copy button or command there. I'll say copy. Copy. Just hold on. Let me admit someone. Okay. Okay. So now I've copied there, right? Now I can paste. what I can do is I can paste selected to aligned to selected views. So which view, remember, which view do I want to paste these dimensions in? FFL, right? And remember, it's structural FFL. So I'll go to my structural, click on FFL there and say OK. When I go to this FFL, is this architectural? Oh, okay, so there it is. I don't know which this FFL is, probably the architectural one. I'll just close it. So now I'll use this one, the structural FFL. Let's see. The TOF here, not so good. I'll use the TOF here. And then there's that one also. But I'll use this one when I come and start putting them on the paper for presentation and printing. I'll use this one. And then I can use this SOG. Yeah, this is good. And then I can use this FFL here. So now the dimensions are there, but the bubbles are not there. So now it means I have to do this process all over again, right? I'm sorry, I'll take some time here, but probably just a minute or so. Like that, like that. Okay, let me forgo this. I'll do it in my free time. On the other side, I'll do them later. But let me show you how you can add now the first floor slab. Because when you go to your 3D, remember, you click on the house thing to go to your 3D. So I'm lacking, my 3D is lacking a first floor slab. So I'll go back to, let me close this SOG. This FFL, I'll go to my structural tab and I'll click on slab there. And you can see it takes me to the foundation slab that I was adding on the foundation level. And it had given me a thickness of 120 because Prota originally we had said we would use 120 here, RCC. So what we can do is we'll go to Revit and then we'll edit. And remember, don't just start editing here. Change the name. Because when you edit this, it will edit also the 120. So you say, okay, my first floor slab is of thickness 150, right? You delete that and delete the word foundation here. Just say first floor slab. You're okay. But remember, we just changed the name. We haven't changed the parameters because the parameters still say 120. So you go to your edit option and you say, okay, my slab now is of 150. Or if you like, you can choose 165. Let's see, let me just confirm. What did we use there on the first floor slab? It was 160. Thank God I checked. Even on the roof we used 150. Okay, so the first floor slab is 160 according to our plot. So while I'm here, let me just rename and say 160 thick, and then I'll OK it. In my edit, I'll change my 5 to 6, and then it becomes 160. I'll OK, I'll apply, and I'll say yes. Similar to the foundation slab, I want my similar to the foundation slab. This one says foundation. It shouldn't say foundation. It should say first floor. Let me see. Okay. This is the same foundation. Okay, it's supposed to be suspended. Let me check somewhere. And also, if you wanted to add like tiles or any other things, you can add them here. For example, you say insert, and then this is structure. You can say maybe 10 or 5 millimeter screed or 10 millimeter tile, like that. And then you choose your ceramic or porcelain. You type ceramic tile there or tile mosaic. You click it, you say okay, and now this will probably be like 170 now, and then you say okay. Forget about it's using a foundation slab system. Forget about that. That's why it's saying foundation, but here we've changed the first floor. So now remember, I want the extents of my slab, my first floor slab, to flush with the edges. There are situations where your slab can be like that. I've seen situations where a slab is like that. But I do not want it to be like that. I want it to be right there. And then I can either pick walls if I had any walls, or I can pick lines. For this particular instance, I'll be picking lines. And I'll pick this line here and this one. Or alternatively, you can draw them if you wanted, but that will take a lot of time. And then I'll pick these extents. Remember, I'm just picking extents right now. And I'll pick this one. Previously, when we were drawing, we had missed this, the foundation. Remember, we didn't, right? And then I'll click that also, and I'll click that. So after having done that, I'll use the modify, the trim and extend command. I click it. I want this side to meet with this side, and then I want this side to meet with this side, this side to meet with this side, and then this side to meet with this one, then this one to meet with this one, and finally this will close this like that. And now okay. So now let me just control S. So now when I control S, but I'm forgetting one fundamental thing. I don't know if you guys have seen it. And actually that should have been the first thing. What am I missing, guys, if you remember? I'm missing my beams. Thank you. I should have created my beams before I created my the slab. Anyway, since this is just for presentation, we can do it nonetheless. And then there's a small balcony. Ideally, it's supposed to be there. You remember, Paul, right? So let me just edit that. I'll go in there, and then when you double click, I'll delete that, and I'll delete that, and then I'll say, I'll add where here. No, not there. This will go like that. It will meet that, and it will come here, right? And then it will come here. Okay. So I do not need this line. I'll come out of the command by pressing escape, and then I'll use my trim and extend. So this and this, I knew that wasn't going to accept. So I'll delete this, then select this. It will choose that. You go on your trim and extend, you select that line and that line, and then this one and this one. See how it cuts. Then this one, it won't accept. Yeah, you need another little line there, so that when you trim and extend, it's that and that, and then this and this. So now we've got that little balcony thing that the architect wanted, and it will look like that, right? Okay, so now let me go back and just add my beams. So how I'll add my beams is I'll go first Control S, just in case power does what it does. You go to the, oh, okay, so that's why it's giving me this one-way slab beams, because I do not have my beams, because all this is just going in no direction. So, and okay, should I delete? No, I'll maintain. So if you're watching this video and you like to do what I'm doing, please start with your beams. Do not start with the slab. When you decide to practice, or you decide to review the video, please start with the beams. But at this point of watching the video, they would have already done it. So go to the structure, select beam, and by default it's giving me this structure steel beams. I do not want that. I'll go up, it's giving me these channels also. I do not have any concrete beams, unfortunately. So what you can do is you go to your family. Here you can either go to insert like that and say load family, and then find your templates. For me, I know I'm using my 20. If I go to my library options here, there's nothing in the English. You see, there's also nothing in the Imperial. So I use 2023 templates because I haven't installed 2024. But the thing about AutoCAD Revit is that it will accept because the changes are not that drastic. So you see, I've gone into my Revit 2023 and I'll go in my libraries, and when I say English, it gives me this US, and I have all of these. And then I'll say structure framing like that, and then I'll say precast, not precast concrete, sorry. I'll say concrete, and then you see it gives me this rectangular beam, and then I'll OK, and now it comes. So now I can edit it, and then I can say duplicate, and if you remember, the width of our beams or the breadth is 200, and they are 400 deep. These are the ones that we used on the first floor, isn't it? In Prota. So OK, having changed the name doesn't mean I change the parameters. I need to physically go in there and change them also. 200 by 400, and then I'll apply, I'll OK, and then now I can start placing them. So I know it's from here to here, like that, and then to there, to there. You're clicking on the centers of these columns, like that. So that I'm not confused, I'll go to the next one. I do not want to, I'll do the Y's first, and then I'll come and do the X's later, just so that I'm not confused, like that. Especially that I've already added a slab, so it might be difficult to fit, like that. And it's not showing you these properly because I'm in my, I haven't defined my graphic. Let me show you. So when I click right there, make sure you're clicking on the centers, like that, and then there. Some of them are actually missing. Nonetheless, because you cannot see them because here on the detail level it's coarse. So say fine, and then maybe let's hide it for this particular view just for now. And I should have done that at the beginning. So I'll hide it like that, and now I can see my beams. You see, when I go into my 3D, I can also try to hide this slab for now. I'll come and reveal it later. So now my beam system is there. I can see it now, right? So I'll continue here, and then I'll say create similar. I'll select one of them, then I'll say create similar, and then I'll continue like that. I'll continue in the y direction. I'll press there, and then there. It ends there, doesn't it? Okay, come on. Escape once. There's nothing here. Okay. If you want, you can refer to your beam system importer also. And then, in fact, you should, because if this is going to be the general arrangement, then it has to match the reinforced arrangement. So, not a matter of one thing. You should ensure it's similar to your plot. And then I'll click there. Okay. So now I've done my, I've got in this direction also. Maybe let me just put them side to side. I'll put that one over there, like that, and then I'll select my port like that. and I'll put them side to side. I'll drag this one down, I'll drag this one down, I'll close this, and then I'll go to my first floor, change to plan view. Okay, so I know there are continuous beams in my number. Let me put this over this side. So in my one, I should have, it's necessary for me to do this after all. Let me just do this so that I can identify them like that. That, pull it down a little, like that, like that, like that, then last there, Control S. So what we're doing is, here in Prota we can see that from 1 to G, that's where this beam in the y direction ends. Also here 1 to G, good. And then the next beams appear in 3. 3G, from 3 to G, okay, we're good. And then in 4 here they end at D. 4 they're ending at D. Cool. How about 5? 5 they're starting at B up until H. So I can start at B here, create a similar one, say create similar, and then I'm starting at B like that, and I'm ending at H. I'll go like that. And then my beams will be selected like that. Okay, go back to Prota for reference. Yeah, 5 is the one we are doing, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's one here at 6, but it just ends at B. So I'll go to my 6, make sure that it's one of those secondary beams, ends at B, like that. Okay, I'm good. So now, that's it. No more y direction beams. So now I can go to my number 1, A. I'll go into A. I'll select a beam from the center there up until number, I think that's 7 something, right? Yeah. And then in my B also up to 7, I'll go to my B, select. From there I'll go to my B, arrive there. Okay, cool. And then B1, this is B1, yeah. B1 ends up to 5. Okay, from B1 to 5 here, right there. And then is that B1? Yeah, B1. There's B at the top, then there's B1. At C, I know it ends up to 5 from 7. So I'll go in my B1. I know this is my B1. From 7 there, it ends at 5 here. That's the column. Is that correct? No, that's not correct. Let me cancel. Yeah, it is. From B1. No, not B1. Then, so it's from C7 to C5. So I'll create similar. C7 is here, C5 is here. Okay, so that's my other beam. And then the next beams are along D axis, from D1 to D what? D5. Okay, I'll go to my D there, I'll click this, create similar, from D1 to D5 here, like that. Okay, what else? I've got another beam here at E. From E7 I guess to E5. Okay, so I'll create similar. Okay, I find that it's logged out. Okay, we're still in. So it's what? E7 to E5. I'll go to my E7, select it like that. Go to my E5 there like that. And then what else? I know at H and finally at G. So I'll create similar at H like that, H, that, and finally at G goes to actually I think somewhere here is where that little thing is supposed to be. Up to G, I know I have to modify this according to the slide. Okay, so now we've added all our beams. If I go into my 3D, this is how the beam system will look like. Okay, so now when I click on this bulb, I'll click this slab that I hid, and then I'll set and hide element, and then I'll click again to deactivate it. So now I know I'm not supposed to have this. I'll go to my FFL here. I'll do the same. I'd hidden the slab in there. I'll click it and I'll press and hide. Okay, and then I'll close this, meaning really I shouldn't have this beam. It should end up to here. How about here? Did I add a beam? There's no beam. Is there? I need a beam. Okay, nice. Okay. So let me remember at F, and then yeah, F would do just like F. Okay, let me just hide this for now. Hide element, and then create a stub here at F like that. Okay, and then I can unhide this element that I just hid. Click on it like that. Select and hide. Then click on the bulb. And then when I go into my 3D now, I can see, right? And there's my slab system there, right? So now what I can do, will I be using a similar slab system at the top? Probably. When I click on the roof level there, I can see that it's pretty much the same. So I can go to my Revit. I do not have to draw everything. What I can do is I can select one of these, say select instance as an entire project like that, and it selects all the beams, and then I can copy like that. Click on copy, and then I'll paste aligned to selected levels. Remember my selected level is RSL, roof slab level, and then there it is, you see. Okay, saves me a lot of time, and then I can do the same for this one, except that one is at 150, this one is at 160, but I can always change. Yeah, so I'll say, after having clicked it, I'll say copy, and then I'll paste aligned to selected like that, and then there we have it, and then we're good. Let me just create a, I'll duplicate this, I'll edit it, and then I'll say duplicate and say 150 roof slab, say roof, delete the floor there, remain with slab, delete the two, and then I'll go into my parameters. I definitely do not need these tiles. I'll delete them, and then I'll change this to say 150, and now okay. I'll apply like that. So mind you, when you click it like this, make sure it says 150. Check your parameters, 150, cool. And then go to your there, make sure it says 160 or 170 in our case. In fact, let me just maintain 160. Let me delete this. Everything else will be up to. Okay. Now we are good. This is our gray structure. Uh-oh. Okay. So this will be our gray structure. If we like, we can close. If we like, we can close. Or what we can do as a matter of fact is that we can add a topo thing like an earth on the NGL. So how you do that? But before I do that, maybe some people will come in. Let me see. Is there anyone requesting to join currently? Oh, the video is open. Oh yeah. I'll share my screen. Okay, so what I can do is I can just go into my roof slab. I'll put this by the corner there, and then I'll go into my structure as roof slab live. Okay, and then as we wait for some people to join, let me just add these bubbles like that, like that. Pardon? Hey, it does, but it's a little it's a little trick. Not as easy as thought. It does analysis. We'll see. Maybe it's something that we can do next month. This thing. It motto is really nice. Yeah. They've got this other Autodesk has got this structure analysis software called Robot. Robot is hectic. It's hectic, my friend. For pressure, it will give you a lot of pressure. Um, which one, Revit? Okay, I'll put that there. Hey, Paul, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, so what we can do now, this is how far we've gone. We've modeled the entire gray structure. So now if we like, we can add walls, boundary walls, but we will leave it. That will be up to the architect. And then for us, we were just focused on the elements, the beams, slabs, and the foundations. Mm. But if we wanted, we could add even these bubbles if you like. Could activate them like that. Break this. You cannot. So if we wanted, we could put like a topo or a site. and then we could create like a section. Let me just do that before putting them on the sheet.
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay. Let me just do this like that, like that. Would have been interesting. It would have been interesting if it was like a steel roof or a wooden roof or something using timber or lumber, like that, like that. This is it. Okay. So now this is how you'll notice that it drags your way through if it changes. Anyway, when you go to, where is it? Coordination. Is it coordination? No, not coordination. I think when you go to your architectural, should have something like okay, site plan here. When you click on it, when you go into your site like that, it shows you. But don't mind it. We are just here to create like an earth to cover the foundation. So when we go to this option that says massing and site, we can add they're calling it topo solid or site component at trees or parking component. But for this particular purpose, I'll just use this top, and it says grassland. I haven't actually used it in a wow, is this the way? The 2013 doesn't come like this. Okay, I mean here. Oh, so for it to just create like a block thing. Okay, changed. Because previously what we would do in Revit 2023 and below, what would happen is that we would put dots, and on those dots we would change the elevation, and we could make it like waves. I don't know if we can do the same here. Concrete cantilever. Because here just assuming the ground is flat. No, don't touch. Let's try to go into our 3D like that. Or it adds that thing. And the step. If you're an architect, you could actually put a step there. You see? And when you try to cut it using the section view, for example, uh, height offset level 10. Okay, when you go to your 3D while you're in your 3D, you've got this section box. When you click on it, it activates this section box. In the past, I really liked using it. When you drag it like that, it cuts. For example, what's that thing? How is it not cutting to show me? Let's see. Anyway, if you're feeling like an architect, you can actually add some trees there, like that, and that, and so on and so forth. But I will not keep this. Uh, yeah, section box is not cutting. I'm surprised. How about the scope box? Anyway, I think that changed in 2024. Okay, so now you can put them on a sheet for presentation purposes. Okay, it's cut. Finally, what I wanted to do has happened. And when you keep it like that, when you take this view, you can show that okay, there's a foundation there at the bottom. And then you can do that with just a little back like that. You see. shows that thing. Shows that okay, there's earth, and then the foundation is below the earth, so you can pull it down like that. But anyway, let me remove this section too. When you click on it while you're in 3D, you deselect it. If you do not wish to see all this green stuff, you can hide it like that. You go to instances, hide category, and all of it is hidden. Okay. So now, having done this, now I can put it on a sheet. If I like, I can reinforce it. But another thing is I would like to tag them. So I'll go to my first one like this thing, and then I'll go to annotate here, and then tag all. It asks me what I would like to tag. I would like to tag my structural components, for example. I would, rebar. I did add some rebar, right? Let me remove it because the rebar will be taken from Prota, not Revit. Okay. So now when I press on tag all, I would like to tag my uh, framing for my beams and foundations, and maybe also for my columns. Okay, so that will do. I'll apply and I'll say okay, and now you can see that it's so much information. How about if I change maybe to like 50, and now I can, you see this has been tagged, but I do not want my foundations to be seen here. I want the whoever will use Prota, because here I just use 1.5 just for the purpose of presentation. So I'll go and deselect, but let me just undo, and then I'll tag all. It will tag my foundations. I'll say tag my foundations and framing if I have any framing. Oh no, not foundation. Yeah. Oh, for it to tag the. Okay, I'll go in and delete. Tag my framing, tag my foundation, and tag my columns. So much information. I'll delete this. If I wanted to, I'll change this. Oh, it doesn't change in here. It's not advisable to change the scale. Mm, but anyway, for the purposes of this video, maybe 50. You can customize it to maybe 8. Let's see how 80 looks. Okay. Then you delete that. Ah, let me just not tag anything here. I'll tag somewhere on the. I have the foundation. I have the SOG. I can just tag the foundation like that. Okay, if you do not want to tag all of them, you can go to LS1 like this, and then you can select some of them. For example, you can tag this, you can tag maybe the foundation if you want to, like that. You can tag some of this, not all of it, like that. Okay, and you're good. And then when you go to your SOG to tag you can tag some columns if you wish, like that, somewhere where there isn't, where it's not so crowded. And then when you go to your FFL, you can also tag this 160 slab and also the framing. Here I'll tag all the framing. I'll go to annotate it, and then tag all, and then I'll say framing, structure framing tags. I'll apply, and I'll say okay. It should do it. Well, annotate tag there. Like that. 200 by 400, 200 by 400, and so on and so forth. And then, oh, we didn't add the ring beams. Should we add the ring beams?
Yes, yes, we can have.
Need to give us some time. Anyway, so when you go to your, there's RBL2, and there's also RBL1, structural. Someone is requesting to join. Let's see, when I go to my section view, where is my section view? South elevation. When I go to my RBL1, like that. Ah, you can select your beam, structure beam, say, you edit type, you say ring beam. Like that, you can say it's 200 by 200, right? 200 millimeter by, or you say 200 by 200 millimeter ring beam, ring beam 1. And then here you change to say 200, you okay, you apply, you okay, and then you place it from there all the way down here, and then from there to there. And for ring beams, they're just exterior, on the exterior walls, like that, like that, and then there, and then you go all the way like that. Interior doors will put lintels. You've got money though, you can also make them go inside. And then so there's your ring beam there. Let's change to the line. There's your ring beam number 1. Okay. And then here you can go to south elevation again. You can say click on ring beam number 2 there, and then you do the same beam, the 200 by, you can use the same one, or you can duplicate if you'd like them to be different. You say ring beam 2, good, you apply, then you start from there to there. Now rotate the visible. It's okay. This is probably due to Revit. Don't mind it, just the graphic settings that. Then when you go to your 3D, voila, there it is, right? So now you got ring beam and all. Okay. So now what you can do now, you can save, you can create maybe a realistic thing which will probably use up a lot of your graphic memory. Or you can go to textures. Okay, let me go. Okay, so now okay, one is back. So now we can put them on a paper. And how you put them on a paper is when you go here on sheets, use your structure sheets here.
Yeah, the screen has gone.
Oh, because of the
Can't see
network.
the screen.
Because of the network. I'm sharing it now. Hopefully you can see it. So now how you put on papers, you go to sheets here. You can see now, right? Paul, can you see the screen now?
Not yet.
And now still. Okay. So placing them on sheets, you go
I
to
can see it. I can see it now.
okay. So placing them on sheets, you go to the sheet section here and you plus it. You click on the plus and then you find your structure here like that. When you click on it, this is my sheet now. Oh, this is your sheet. You see? So you can either use this kind of a sheet or you can modify. I think I have mine. Let's see, I have my own sheet in here. You can say is it duplicate? You can load. I forgot how do you load in a sheet. Okay, let's see. When you double click it, it takes you into the family. And then, okay. No, I'm not going to use this one. No. Okay, that's it. When you right click, and maybe when you say duplicate sheet with detailing, it takes you to there. How about when you just okay, and then when you go to maybe insert, load family, and here I think I have on my desktop. You can create your own template that you can be using so that you can stand out. For me, I think I have one in here. Is it maybe still framing? Maybe complete framing. Yeah, there is my A1 title block. Not this one. That's my cover, but this is the title block that I use. So I'll load in this title block like that, and then where is it? Anyway, for the purposes of this video, how you put your sheets on the screen is you can delete this one like that, and then you can drag the one that you like. For example, my SL1 here, I'll drag it and I'll put it here like that. And then while I'm there, I trigger like that, and then also this, you can choose to remove this, and then you remain with that. This you can push like that, closer, you click inside to drag it like that, and then you click outside to move it like that, and then you can put it somewhere here to maximize your space. So much so that when you go to it, oh, we're here. When we go to it, we can crop it out like that. Oh, this is that thing. You can hide it. Just hide it like that so that when you go to your structure sheet, there it is, like that. And then you can move it like that, and it will look like that. See, even titles it first floor. And then if you'd like your SOG, structure SOG, you can drag it and you can put it there like that, just to align. When you double click it, you enter this space, and then when you select it, you can say hide. When you click outside, you get that. Click outside, select this, you can move this to match that. Click inside to drag this, click outside, select this, move it like that, and you're good. You can go to this SOG, and then in your crops, you can crop out these other unnecessary, like the elevation marks. You do not need those, like that, like that. Okay, so now it will look like this. Open. So that when you go back to anyone here. Oh, first four. Make sure it's in fine mode. Of course, so fine. And then when you go to your sheet like that, you have two now. This, you select this here, and you're good, like that. Okay, what else can you put there? You can probably put like your FFL, your finish floor. Sorry, go to your sheet, go back to your sheet like that, and then drag your FFL like that. You can put it there like that, move it, okay. Then you can select this, you can put it there inside, move it like that, and then you select inside, you select this, you can drag out what you do not like that, like that, then like that. Then you can deselect this, then you get that. So this is your FF. And then you can also put your roof slab like that, put it like that to match. When you enter, you can select this, and then you can drag them like that, like that, like that, like that. Okay, deselect this, and you have that. You can move this to match with what's on top. Click inside, drag that. Okay, and now your sheet is ready to be printed. So now what you can do, just click on the print button there, select the printer that you intend to use, choose on which paper size you'd like to print. Foxit has got an A1. Let me see. When you click Foxit there, go to your properties, layout. Let's see, does it have a new sheet? Yeah, it's got an A1 there. Put it in landscape, make sure it says millimeter, and then when you're okay, you say preview, and that's how your paper will look like. And then you can print, you can save it as S1. Make sure you choose the destination. For me, my destination is in 25. Let me go for my 25, it's here. Teaching material, 31 days challenge, architect, Revit. Then I'll say, yeah, I'll say Revit paper. I'll save it, and then I can share it in the group. Yeah, this is it. Teaching material, 31 days. It's supposed to be in here, isn't it? Or was it in the previous? There it is. Paper, I'll share it in the group, and then we can call it a day, like that. Okay, so Paul, I don't know if you've got any questions according to what we've currently done. You can ask me, or you can write any question, or you can post in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, I think if there are any questions, maybe I will just write in the WhatsApp group after I review the video.
Okay, no problem. All right, bye bye. Good night.
Okay, thank you. Good night.